From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
And here we go with another Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. You know, if it's hot where you're at, here's a tip to keep you cool. For the men, nothing but banana hammocks. And ladies, it's pasties and floss. That's it. That's it. Because if there's anything Californians are experts on, it's how to keep cool and show off our private parts at the same time. All right, who's ready to go on another action-packed adventure? Here's what's on tap on The Rat. All right, I've got the funniest joke I heard all weekend for you. Why are there crickets about Cincinnati today? Is there a scandal brewing about the L.A. fire funds? Gavin Newsom's the governor. What do you think? A new TikTok trend that's absolutely nuts is happening. I've got details for you. And fellas, have you heard about the new T-app? Hang on for this one. Another round of head trauma is on the way. The movie mashup is on tap today, plus our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including Saw It on the X. That's what's up today on the Rat's Ass Podcast for Monday, July 28th. Thanks for dropping by, Saints and Sinners. I do appreciate it. All right, to bring you up to speed, Rat Nation is now at 444 members. Not as sexy as 666, but we're getting there. You can check out Rat's Ass Rock TV to watch this week's top 10 rock videos and get new content on the Rat's Ass Podcast blog, including new rounds of Radio Wars. Plus, hang out on our socials, too. There's always something fun on X going on. Connect to it, all of it, everything at ratsasspodcast.com. That's your central. That's your hub right there. 47 years ago today, the movie Animal House was released. As you know, if you're a regular listener, it's my all-time favorite movie, right there along with Pulp Fiction. Boy, there you go. There's a psyche analysis right there. I highly suggest, though, that you strap on a toga, grab a brew tonight, and watch the show on Netflix. Animal House. It'll change your life, man. All right, let's get into the rap. The one thing I love to do on the weekends, surprise, 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 is I love to laugh my ass off like Kamala Harris after a fifth of bourbon. Joe Rogan floated this. And you know, Joe is a stand-up comedian. But he floated the idea that Hunter Biden could run for president in 2028. Funniest joke I heard all weekend. Now, Joe's point was we already know what a ginormous piece of monkey dung this guy is, so let's make him president number 48. It was surprising to me how many damn people in the media picked up on this and took it seriously and started talking about this. I had to catch up on a lot of media stuff, too, over the weekend, so this is how I spent my weekend. Watching the media not talk about certain things. But they picked up on this one, and they talked about it like it really could happen. Who's going to vote for Hunter Biden besides crackheads and whores anyway? Come on. Crackheads and whores. Hey, you know what? That's a good name for a punk band. Let me write that down. Crackheads and whores. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I got to write stuff down or I forget these days. All right, here's an incident that happened in Cincinnati on Saturday that the mainstream media didn't talk about. It was at the Jazz Festival. Apparently, a white couple leaving the festival got swarmed by a group of black people, and they beat the hell out of them. Now, the man was well into his 50s, I'd say. Looked like he suffered a concussion, or maybe worse. And his wife got knocked out completely. Now, to be fair, some say the white dude lipped off. Okay, but why does it take a mob to kick his ass? Why? The bigger question is, why was there no coverage by the network mainstream media on this? You know, they'll show black on black crime because it fits a narrative they want to push. They'll show white on black crime for the same reason. But black on white crime doesn't exist in the mainstream media's dojo now, does it? Now, here's the deal, and I hate to be the one to inform you. Okay, but this isn't the 80s and 90s anymore where black and white people can hang out and have fun together. Those days, long gone. Maybe one day we will have fun together again. Right now, we can't. So if you're a white person, you find yourself surrounded by black people, you got to know if you look the wrong way or say anything, they'll swarm and beat the hell out of you. Beat you senseless. And they know they will not be held accountable for it. I mean, just being straight, they might just beat the hell out of you just for being white, being in the wrong area. You need to beware because no one is coming to your rescue. The mainstream media is going to talk about this. They're not going to do it. Doesn't fit the narrative. But I'd look at it as my role to keep you informed, best I can. All right, do you recall something called the LA fires back in January, where most of Pacific Palisades, Altadena, and parts of Malibu were destroyed? Remember that? Do you remember our slumlord Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass? They were on it, man. They were going to make sure all the red tape was going to get cut fast so people could get back everything they lost as quick as possible. They were on your side. President Trump came out, and they were there, and they were talking about how we're on it. We're going to cut all the red tape. Well, apparently, somebody lost the scissors because that red tape has not been cut. Nothing's happening. Very few of people have received permission to rebuild. Very few permits have been approved. Now, a concert called Fire Aid took place featuring a host of bands, popular bands. You might have heard of these folks. Green Day, Red Hot Chili Peppers, No Doubt, Sting from The Police, Billie Eilish, Katy Perry, Stevie Nicks, Pink. They were all there to help out, sing for free, raise money for the cause, and they raised over $100 million. $100 million. Reports now say not one victim of these fires have seen a dime of this money nearly 7 months later. The fire aid organizers say they turned the money all over to a bunch of nonprofits who could handle that kind of cash. So at this point, nobody knows where the money went. $100 million disappeared. But the good news is Gavin Newsom is getting involved. Now, one report said that his wife, Jennifer, also had one of these nonprofit organizations, but as soon as the report came out, her website went dark. Now, this has been floated and not verified, but they're talking about it. But let's keep in mind, Newsom is supposedly also looking into where the $100 billion missing funds for the high-speed rail system went, the $37 billion that was earmarked for the homeless that somehow disappeared, the $40 billion for affordable housing that's been misplaced, $5 billion for water shortages, and $500 billion to stop the flow of raw sewage from Mexico into San Diego. He's on the case, looking into all that missing money. But let's also keep in mind, he's got designs on being number 48 in 2028, folks. Hell, maybe we'll get a Gavin Newsom, Hunter Biden presidential ticket. Won't that be fun? 4 more years of nobody on the job like Joe Biden. All right, there's a new TikTok trend that's gaining popularity real quick, where ex-girlfriends are simply calling their exes and saying, I just wanted to call and say goodnight. That's it. And they're filming it, putting it on social media. Now, naturally, it's all about making fun of an awkward situation. All fun and games until somebody loses an eye. Now, how much do you want to bet this will give guys an excuse to say, you know what, maybe I'll start re-engaging with one of my exes. This is an excuse to call her up and just say good night. Yeah, you're going to start seeing more hookups and breakups happening, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Now, here's a tiny little bit of advice, guys and girls, because you know I love giving the advice. When you break up with somebody, always change your phone number. I know it sounds a little old-fashioned, and I know it's a pain in the arse. But you got to do it. It's a small price to pay just in case you awaken a psycho. That's all I'm saying. Be careful out there, folks. Be careful. TikTok makes it fun. But in reality, there'll be some gnarly shit that goes on out there after something like that. All right, not to be outdone, though, there is now a new T-app women can download and write reviews of men they've dated. Doesn't that sound joyful? That's right, gentlemen. When you go out with a girl now, chances are she's going to download this app and spill all the goods on you. Good or bad. Probably bad mostly, I would think, the way people react on apps today and social media. And they're giving all the sordid details, too. The size of your wanker. Do you go downtown? Are you cheap? Is your underwear clean? Do you pick your nose and eat it? It's all going to be out there. Now, the only way I see that we can combat this is if men start an app doing the same damn thing, spill the goods on the women they've dated. And I'm sure it's probably already in the works. I mean, you know, Mark Zuckerberg is a sneaky little shit, so it could be in the works. We'll keep an eye on it for you. But it's also funny how these apps tend to end up in the hands of employers, too. Now, I remember the days when it was fun to date. Now it's like navigating a frickin' war zone.
That's not a banana in this jockstrap, that's his real junk.
I think you get that right.
Here is Mojo Elliott with Rat Sports.
All right, today I'm adding a new feature to this part of the podcast. Instead of putting sports questions in our email from our Gmail segment, we're going to start putting them here and answering them here in this segment. And if it flies, we'll do more. Send your sports questions to ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. All right, congrats to racer Bubba Wallace on winning the Brickyard 400. He's the first black racer to ever win an Indy. Baseball trade deadlines coming up this week. Names being bantered around are Jarren Duran of the Red Sox, Eugenio Suarez, and Zach Gallen of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I've also heard word that Marcell Ozuna from the Atlanta Braves could be moving on. The first NFL game of the season takes place this Thursday. It's the Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and Lions, featuring mostly players who will be bagging groceries starting in September. But if you root for the uniform, check it out. Now, Jamie Green of Tacoma, Washington, emailed asking, who do you think was the better hitter, Ichiro Suzuki or Pete Rose? Pete Rose. Hit king, 4,256 hits. Now, I know they say that Ichiro had more hits than Pete when you combine his record in Japan and here in the United States. And maybe he gets close. But here's the difference. Ichiro in Japan was hitting against Japanese pitching, not major league pitching. That's the difference on that. And I'll take it to my grave that Pete Rose, the hit king, is still the hit king over Ichiro. Hope that answers your question, Jamie. And that is sports on the Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, today I've put together a little movie mashup for you. Listen to these 3 audio clips, and let's see if you can guess what 3 films they are from. Listen up real close.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
A terrorist they ran that way. It was a run by fruiting.
You couldn't get a porn star off.
All right. Listen close one more time.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
A terrorist they ran that way. It was a run by fruiting.
You couldn't get a porn star off.
All right, kick it around. Think about it. Take a while. And I'll have the answer for you coming up.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma. It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
All right, let's see what's happening on the Rat's Ass Podcast X feed. We call it Heard It on the X. Johnny Midnight posted this one. Who is the most evil human being alive today? Well, I went in and tallied up the votes from the first 100 people that answered, and here are the top 5. Number 5, Joe Taterhead Biden. Barack Obama checked in at number 4. Dr. Fauci at number 3. A little low on that list. Number 2, George Soros. And number 1, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Yep, she was number 1 on that list. Want to guess what they all have in common? And in case you're wondering, Donald Trump was not in the top 10, but I'd say Johnny Midnight's followers lean just a little bit to the right.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, if you haven't heard yet, ABC has put their daytime shit show called The View on hiatus until September, leading many people to speculate their reign of terror is over. But I don't think so, because I dug into the ratings, and guess what? The View is the number 1 rated daytime TV show. ABC's not going to give up a number 1 rated daytime TV show. You know, people still like to see the car crash, man. Bottom line. A protest was planned outside of the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York to stop CBS from canceling the Stephen Colbert Show, and only 20 people showed up to participate. But that's kind of impressive, because I didn't think he had that many family and friends available. Christina Aguilera, where has she been? God, she can sing. Pittsburgh girl, too. But anyway, she was caught on Instagram over the weekend wearing this very sexy black thong lingerie set. And after 2 kids, I got to say, she's definitely got her booty back. In fact, I'd definitely put that genie in a bottle.
That's just about enough of that.
HGTV has taken an axe to 2 former popular remodeling hosts. Gone are Christina Hack and Tarek El Moussa. HGTV has canceled Christina on the Coast and the Flipping El Moussas. Now, you're probably wondering who's going to replace them, right? Well, if I had to guess, I'd say you're going to see more of the Redneck Riviera. And finally, Travis Kelce. Remember Travis? Tay-Tay's boyfriend? Apparently, he shaved his head to prepare for the upcoming NFL season when he hit training camp for the Chiefs, and women are losing their damn minds over it on social media. And the players, well, they were shocked too. As soon as they saw Travis come out of the shower, they noticed he now has a gold member. And Britney Spears, remember her? She's been single now for...
Who gives a rat's ass?
159 days.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
As you can tell, when I commit to something, I really commit to something. All right, email. As you know, I do not read your emails in advance. My producer, Fleabag, forwards me your name, where you're from, and rewrites them so I can read them rapid fire and on the fly. No topic is off the table, and it is impossible to offend me. All right, Brenda H. from Owensboro, Kentucky said, why are men so infatuated with their junk? Well, I assume you mean they're purple-headed warriors, one-eyed trouser snakes? They're Johnsons, willies, wankers, weasels, hoses, hammers, rods, spitters? That's all I can think of off the top. Well, it's probably due to the location on the body, Brenda, because if it was on our face instead of our nose, I doubt we'd notice it. You would, though. And maybe the man upstairs, when he made us, wasn't thinking, hey, I could put that on the nose and above the mouth. Ooh-wee, what a party that would be, huh? All right, Smash K, St. Petersburg, Florida, said, I've always been a breast man, but a girl I'm dating is a 32B. I really dig her a lot, but is it possible to be in a long-term relationship with a woman who's a member of the Itty Bitty Titty Club? Well, Smash, it's about, I would say, how shallow are you, buddy? How shallow are you? That's what it comes down to. I think it's doable because, in my humble opinion, it should be about what's between her ears. All right, Rob D., Muncie, Indiana. I've gone on 17 dates with women so far this year, and not one has agreed to go out with me a second time. I'm starting to think it's me. Do you think? What would you do in my situation? Well, you probably won't do this, Rob, but you have to reach out to them, and the ones who will talk to you, by the way. Hopefully they will, and just ask, hey, why didn't you go out with me for a second time? And some will be honest, some will not be, but what you're looking for, if you get a hold of 10, just look for something common that they say about you and try to change it. Or you could always look yourself up on that new T app. All right, Candy L. from Mankato, Minnesota. I've got this psycho guy I've dated for a month bugging me, and no matter how much I tell him to take a hike, he won't. What's the easiest way to dump a jerk like this? Well, I used to watch my sisters do this all the time. I think it might work today because it always worked for them. Just simply say you have an ex-fiance you didn't tell him about because you thought it was over, but he's re-entered the picture. And you really need to find out if there's anything worth saving there before you can move on and maybe have something between the two of you. That's going to turn him off right away. Competition, right? Then if he's still being unreasonable, you tell him how magnificent the sex is with your ex because, well, he's well endowed. He's hung like an elephant's trunk. That should do it. All right, Rachel P., Sacramento, California. Did you see where I can't even say the word, liberals. try to get rid of that word out of my vocabulary. But she said, did you see where liberals are trying to form a protest to shut down the economy by not buying anything on August 9th? Yeah, I saw this, but these things never take root. They never do because people need things. They have a schedule. They have lives. So I wouldn't count on this taking off because 9 times out of 10, if they don't buy on Saturday, the 9th, they'll buy on Sunday or Monday or maybe Friday. The companies are going to make the money that they're going to make. Just going to happen that way. But you know what? Here's another thing you can do. If you hear anybody talking about this that's liberal, confuse them. Say, oh, gee, I thought it was on the 8th. No, maybe it was the 10th. Just throw a little confusion their way. Yeah. Donnie Z., Sitka, Alaska, said, what advice would you give someone who wants to get into the radio business today? Well, if you're talking about being on the air as a personality, which most people contact me about this, I hate to kill anybody's dream, Donnie, but I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell guys who've been out of work for 2 or 3 years. Radio is a dying industry thanks to AI and automation. Now, I believe that you have to really find your place in new media. Podcasting, YouTube, all of the stuff, blogging, all the stuff that I'm into. And you might be better at it than I am. But here's the deal. I'd hate to see you waste 5-10 years trying to establish a radio career only to have to go find your place in new media. So get started there, do it now, and be brave, be patient, because it takes a good amount of time. Keep in mind, there are 3 million podcasts out there, probably more. So a lot of competition. All right? But if you have any questions, observations, or comments, send them to my producer, Fleabag, at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. I have delegated that authority to him. For more outrageous and the more outrageous and salacious, the better. Yeah, I got to get out of here real quick, but I'll tell you about that in a second.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
because we got to give you the answer to the head trauma first. Listen close. Have you figured out what 3 movies these 3 audio clips are from?
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
A terrorist they ran that way. It was a run by fruity.
You couldn't get a porn star off.
All right, if you said Dodgeball, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Liar Liar.
Yeah, baby.
You're correct, Amundo. But if you missed it, go see your doctor about a head trauma and get well soon. All right, like I said, I got to split because I promised my dog I'd get him ready to go out and get laid today. Yeah, you know, it's a bit of a challenge, too, because, well, he likes cats. Yeah, preferably? God, I'm fucking this up bad today. Preferably those Maine Coons. And here he just happens to be right by my side. Come up here, little buddy. What is it you want to say? What is it you want to say?
I just wanted to say that once you had a Maine Coon, you never go back, baby. Come on, hurry your ass up, man. I want to go get some. You know what I'm saying?
Well, go get ready. I'll be there in a second. I do have one more thing for you. Are you aware that one text, one song, one mistake, one lie, one word, one truth, and one person can change your mood in 1 second?
Just so you know, I'm still not talking to you.
Oh, okay, Alexa, that's fine with me. You're not going to squat and pee on my day.
Do your shout-outs to Rat Nation, you...
Oh, she bleeped me. Alexa, are you being evil today? Alexa? Oh, there we go. The crickets. Yeah, that's AI for you. All right, welcome to Rat Nation. Brady Collier of Jacksonville, Florida. Zach Daniels, what a cool name. Zach Daniels from Irving, Texas. Bryce Smith from Costa Mesa, California. To the Resistance, those of you who email us but haven't joined Rat Nation yet. Jared C. from Roanoke, Virginia. From Mesa, Arizona, Deborah K. And Clyde B. from Lincoln, Nebraska. And around the world to listeners in Dublin, Ireland, Quebec, Canada, London, England, and of course, down under in Sydney, Australia.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
All right, that's it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Go check out ratsasspodcast.com and get the entire Rat's Ass Podcast experience. You can listen to podcasts, rock out on Rat's Ass Rock TV, read the blog that's loaded with hot topicality, plus you can still join Rat Nation without having to qualify yet. We'll do this again on Wednesday, July 30th. Take care of each other, and thanks for dropping by the Rat's Ass Podcast.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.